Welcome back to the 100 Millionaires Podcast. My name is Walter Amarillo, and I'm getting to hang out with two of my best friends, Michael Schein and Mitch Jorsky. Bring yourselves in.
Massive income from passive income.
Organize and collect.
So this week, we were flying all over the country. We were doing some cool stuff. We were in Boston, and we were in Dallas, and then we found our way. Mike said, guys, I'm going one more trip. We found his way in LA, hanging out with millionaires, a comedian, a billionaire, and a movie actor, and then somebody who was in the mob. So, Mike, I feel like Mitch's dating life is not going to even come close to the amount of people you met this week.
Yeah. So Walter and I, we went first to Craig Duswalt's Rock Your Life. It's all about rocking your life. This is a guy who was Axl Rose's personal assistant and toured with Guns N' Roses, and then also toured with Air Supply.
This guy.
Yeah,
he wrote these two books.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Dude, I got so many free books this weekend. I got this one, Rock Your, right?
Yeah, my suitcase on the way back was like 20 pounds heavier.
This one.
Yeah.
Worth it just for the books.
One, the original.
Yeah.
And then Girls Who Rock, Women Who Rock. It was
nice. Yeah.
Actually, I got two copies of this one. I don't know how that happened.
Well, that's Rock
this was two.
Rock 2.
I got the same ones.
Dude, I could not. I had an embarrassing moment on the way off the plane with all these books. I put them in a paper bag. Boy. As I'm walking, I'm almost home. I'm in the home stretch. And the bag has accumulated a little crack, a little challenge. Yeah. And as I'm walking, I'm halfway through the exiting of whatever that big thing is that connects the plane to the building.
Yeah.
The jet bridge.
The jet bridge.
Nice job.
And these books spread out like an 8-foot radius with all the business cards all over the place. And the nicest thing happened. The nicest thing. This is proof that people are amazing. There was a woman on the plane, and she was like a meek woman, and she was having a hard time getting in. We're all like animals running out of the plane, and she was like standing there like, oh, I don't want to get crushed. I don't want to get crushed. And so I stopped right in front of her. I said, would you like to go? And she said, yes, thank you. And then she grabbed her big case off at the top, slowed us all down, and she went out. Wouldn't you know, this woman was right behind me when it all fell out, all over the place. And she came over to me. She came right over to me and said, here, handed me a plastic bag, and then left. Mysterious. The little act of kindness created an even greater act of kindness. I don't know. And then she said these words I'll never forget. I have children. I'm always carrying an extra bag.
Spoken like a true mother.
All I'm saying is be nice to people on planes, I guess. So, Mike, you also, after that, we hung out with Steve Rizzo, right? Steve Rizzo is a comedian who I think we have in the queue to come hang out with us on the 100 Millionaires Podcast if we get Mitch's approval.
What? That's like it's like a rhetorical statement.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Mitch, it's up to you. Me and Mike already agree.
I see.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I've spoken to Steve one-on-one.
And what did he tell you?
He told me actually some awesome stuff that was a little bit opposite of what Walter was pushing. He's like, man, you sound like you're happy. Don't listen to that guy,
Be more successful, more money, more success.
Walter just keeps trying to level me up, and I'm just chilling, enjoying life.
Bitch.
Yeah, that was
for the Benjamins.
Man,
that was actually his big takeaway at the Rock Your Life was Steve Rizzo, comedian, was in Hollywood for a long time, watched a lot of people become successful before he realized that his calling was to be a motivational speaker. But he tells the story of Rodney Dangerfield at the top, peak, when he was like in 2 movies that were successful, booked everywhere and all that time. And they were having a drink after one of the shows, and Rodney was not happy. I mean, I'm not going into the details, but he just wasn't happy. So that was pretty much the value of hanging out with Steve. He's super sincere, and well, we can plug his book. He has a book called Conversations with Bob, and that's Steve Rizzo, and it's a great book, and it's really about finding inner happiness.
I
I'm
want
really
to
gonna have
hold
my
the book up
bookcase.
because I have it somewhere here. It
Mine's
is.
upstairs.
I
so
have it. I know
sorry.
where it is. I just have to get up and go in the other room to get it because my bookcase is in the other room.
Nice. We all have conversations with Bob. And as Steve said, Bob is God. So just so you know, he's having conversations with God. It's pretty cool. So that was part of it. Then also, I got to thank Ken Walls because he invited me to go to this thing, and introduces me to Ken to Glenn Morshower, who is a very successful actor. He's been on 24. He's been on, right now he does like the voice of like the sergeant in Call of Duty. All these new shows. There was one that's like a huge show. If I can, there's a show right now that everybody loves, and he's on it. My problem is I don't watch TV, so I don't know.
Ozarks. I feel like I have to
Ozark.
show a picture of Glenn
Yeah,
because he's the
that's
most
awesome.
like seen but not known character of like all of Hollywood. So he's these are movies he's been in, right? So you start looking at the movies he's been in.
I
like,
recognize him in the
Yeah,
military
see?
outfit.
So yeah, because he makes a great general. It turns out
Yeah, he's amazing.
that's his play is be the general. But he's been
Under
in all these
Siege.
movies, man.
Seen that movie 8,000 times. I think that's the one I remember him from.
Which one?
Under Siege. It was a
Under Siege.
Seagal movie back when he was
Oh,
good.
yeah.
So you'll remember him
20
from
years ago.
Transformers, and he told me a really cool story. Go ahead, Mike. What you got? A picture of him?
I just want to show the picture. He literally drove us to the airport. So it wasn't me. It's because he's friends with Ken, but he's like, yeah, when we go to LA. So there's Glenn and Brenda and myself at the airport. Photo credit Ken Walls. So yeah,
So
such a
credit
nice
Ken
guy.
Walls.
I
And
didn't know
he's-
that Glenn was at some point on the Star Trek scene.
Star
so
Trek.
that's pretty
Back
cool.
in his
to me.
younger days. Look at all that hair.
Yeah. And he is
It makes a great general. See that?
Yeah, he's got the look.
Whatever you think of him as an actor, like everybody's like, wow, sorry, he's a general and he's amazing. This guy is so, and I hate this word because it's overused, but he's so deep. And
He's
is
woke.
He's
I thought
woke.
you're going
In
for an
fact-
even worse word.
In fact, last night he jumped.
Is that
on
even a
Ken-
compliment using that word?
I don't know. He's woke. He's deep.
Yeah, well,
He's
he
aware.
was talking about last night on Ken's Grow Live Academy. He said you need to be agendaless. Just your agenda is kindness and
Yep.
love and encouragement.
You're
I
gonna
had
tell
to
me
write
that
it
Glenn
down.
showed up on Ken Wall's call last night and I missed it.
Yeah, you missed it after you.
Wait, you
jumped
were already
off
gone?
Driving
I jumped off at like 8:45.
He must have jumped
Yeah.
on like right after because he was
right after.
he was
Yeah.
around for like a while. Like I jumped
didn't
off
get
at
off till
9:30 and
10.
they were still going. And Glenn had been around for a good 45 minutes at that point.
And so Glenn, you like, he's just very profound, like the way he thinks and his idea of love. And it's just like, I'm like goofing. I'm all starstruck over the car. I'm like, I can't believe a movie star is driving me to the airport. What a freaking goof. But he had some good advice last night too. He was saying, it's one thing to be starstruck, but that should not be your goal. Like to meet a star and be like a fanboy. It's like, where can you take this in your own life? Not like using the movie star, but whatever they're doing, what can you take? So yeah, so that was the movie star.
I like that. And I felt the same way about Glenn because I hung out with him in Starbucks before the event started.
Yeah.
And I was like, Glenn, like, I feel like I know you're a great actor, right? I respect you mostly for your mindset.
40-something years. 40-something years.
40-something years. So, but all I know about him is like, he's a very smart guy. Like, I just know his mindset is totally on point when it comes to success and manifesting and getting things you want. So I was like, what bodies of work have you done that I might know about? Because I'm not really a TV guy, but, I do want to know, like, what somebody I respect is, doing for a living with the body of their work.
Yeah.
And as he's explaining, I was like, oh, I watched Transformers. Yeah, I know what Star
Right.
Trek is. I've seen an episode or two of 24. You're that guy, huh? That's cool.
That's so
I had so much more
amazing.
respect for him because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
he's not just done stuff. He's done like what he wanted to do. He did like
Yeah.
high level stuff and he found a way to get there. And I think that's good advice that he gave you, Mike. I like that. So,
And-
but that's
and
not
when he-
all.
Well, wait, but when he was on the
But wait,
stage,
there's more.
when he was on Craig Doswald stage, and you got to give Craig credit too, because Craig
Ton of credit.
gives lots of bombs of knowledge, just kept talking about things to market yourself, had amazing guests. It was a good program. But when Glenn goes on there, it's like, I don't know, like Craig is talking about, like here, like one of his pieces of advice is you send out a letter to someone, but you don't put a letter in the letter. But you put your return contact so that they call you and say, hey, I got this letter, but there was no letter in the letter. And then you say, well, yeah, there was nothing in there. I just wanted to talk to you. Just that kind of stuff. Lots of really good practical advice. But when Glenn gets on the stage, it goes to this very deep level of like love, and I can't even do it justice, but he just really raises the bar on everything. It's just very, very, very cool. So yeah, that was the movie star. So that's the movie star.
So,
Yeah.
and I got Craig Doswalt will actually be at the 100 Millionaires speaking
Nice.
about marketing. We just finalized the final, like we got Craig in there. I made room for Paul Fink to teach disc because I was teaching disc, but who did I learn disc from? I learned it from Paul. So
That's
it makes a lot more sense to have him teach disc at this year's 100 Millionaires Summit. And then Craig is actually, so Paul's part of Craig's mastermind. So
Yeah.
even though I was part of Paul's mastermind, he's part of Craig's mastermind. So I was like, Craig, like you taught me marketing, in 2017, he's the one who taught me all the different marketing strategies that I've been using, all the rockstar marketing strategies to become really well known. So I was like, would you come and speak at the 100 Millionaire Summit?
Yeah,
He said, hell yeah.
Awesome. That's so awesome.
So he toured with what bands? It was Air
Guns
Supply
N' Roses
and Guns N' Roses.
Air Supply.
But he didn't tour like a band member. He was like the guy behind the scenes
he was
marketing.
Axel's personal assistant.
That's what he was.
Yeah. So
he threw the TVs out of the hotel if necessary.
yeah.
I'm frustrated. Throw this out the window, sir. We need attention.
So, all right. So then Ken was the one who invited me to Craig's thing because Craig and Ken Walls have a relationship. And so, but then when we were talking about going to Dallas, he also mentioned that another person that he's friend with who is named Rami El-Batrawi, who is a billionaire with an amazing story. Rami took the book Think and Grow Rich, and from 12 years old, when he was homeless on the streets of Tampa, for 5 years, he was homeless. But this guy, Rami, and you should read his book because it's called Can You Really Think and Grow Rich? Because basically he's read this book like literally hundreds of times, took the ideas of Think and Grow Rich and became had $50 million by the age of 23, lost it, became a billionaire by the age of like 34, lost it, became a billionaire again, lost it, and became a billionaire again. He's now a billionaire again. And his story is inspirational. So basically he really gives a lot of credit to the book Think and Grow Rich. So he had a charitable event at his house in LA, the Hollywood Hills. I guess his house is apparently like a stone. Literally, he can hit the roof of Tim Allen's house. It's like right there from, Last Man Standing. And anyway.
Tim Allen, I think of the Home Improvement show.
Home
Improvement. Yep. And the Star Trek knockoff, which is just like the funniest show
That
ever.
movie was so bad.
Something.
It's so bad.
Yep.
I love it. Yeah.
So bad. So
I
good.
love that show. Brenda's like, really? You're talking about this?
so-
Anyway.
I have watched that a dozen times. So good.
So good. Anyways, but so Rami had this thing at his house and it was only $550 to go and you could bring your wife. So I was like, geez, we're in Dallas. Let's just fly over. So we flew over, stayed in a hotel right below there. And we get there. My only regret is that I didn't realize, but it was also Saturday and Sunday. And one of Rami's projects right now is he's doing a show that plays like every night in Vegas. It's called 27. And basically it's all the people, rock stars who died at the age of 27.
Oh, wow.
Kurt Cobain, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Amy Winehouse. And so the people who were there Saturday night got the show performed for them right there on Ramey's tennis court. And we missed that because we didn't get it until Sunday, but it was still really, really inspiring. You get there and there are like chairs around the couches and all that kind of stuff. And you got to meet him. Oh, and that leads to my next person. Not only that, but Ramey, as part of his success story, was instrumental in getting author John Gray's book, which was called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. It's sold over 50 million copies. John Gray was there too. And yeah, so John Gray, on Sunday, there was kind of like a breakout room, and John was talking about men and women. And so what you were supposed to do is say there were 10 people sitting around John Gray. After 15 minutes, you were supposed to go over to somebody else, but nobody left because so then in front of John is like 20 people. And then when that session was over, there were like 30 people. Nobody was leaving. He was talking about the differences between men and women and, estrogen levels and what do men have?
Testosterone, the T.
Testosterone, and all sorts. Oh, super, super interesting, really valuable stuff. And so he was there, but it gets better than that. We're sitting there. I go in, there's like off the main area, there's like a pool table, right? And there's this guy playing pool with the kid of one of the people. And so I introduced myself and he says, "Oh, my name's Willie." And I said, "Wait a second, are you Willie Galt?" And he said, because I had heard from somebody else. So Willie Galt, first of all, I'm a Patriots fan. And
Mike definitely knows who Willie Galt is.
Willie Galt.
I obviously do, but
Chicago.
Not in the same viewpoint.
So I'm having this discussion while he's playing pool with this like 12-year-old that I don't know. And I'm like, I'm sorry, this is just blowing my mind. Like, you played for the 1985 Bears, like Jim McMahon and the Fridge and all this stuff. And he's like, yeah, it was a crazy team. It was a crazy team. But Willie Galt is the freaking shit. He is like, and he looks amazing. Like, this has been a long time, but so he was there too. Also, Don Green, the guy who was who runs the Think and Grow Rich society
Foundation.
or what? Yeah, foundation. Thank you. He was there. So just all these people, and back to the billionaire. So this is my big lesson. First of all, because he was homeless like for 5 years, and he lost his money, and he was homeless again. You got to read the book. Can You Really Think and Grow Rich by Ramey El Batrawi. He has no fear. Like, what stops most of the people who are in the room and most of the people that we meet day to day is that their own fear stops them. And he doesn't have any fear because he's been homeless. So he's like, I don't care. It's like, if I lost everything, I'd be fine. And it's a super powerful way to live your life. He's just fearless. And the other part of Ramey is that he thinks way, 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 way bigger. Like, how many people who are listening have said, maybe I'll buy a Tesla and put it on Turo, and rent it out? Well, Ramey did that, except he started a company called EV Mobility. And instead of taking one Tesla, he bought 250 Teslas. And now he gives them to hotels and apartments, and they rent them out. And he's in the process right now of buying another 1,000 Teslas to do this. And so when you talk to him, everything he talks about is just huge. So when we talk about like a 3-family that we're buying, it's like, oh my God, we need to think so much bigger, like so much bigger.
Anytime we've talked to Ramey, I feel like that's exactly what comes out of the conversation is I've got to think a little bigger. Like, yeah,
he said one time he had no money and he thought, geez, I should buy Universal Studios. And it's in the book. This isn't the greatest story in there, but so he finds a guy who he said, if I can just find the anchor investor. So he finds this really famous guy who goes to Spago's every day, and he talks to him, and the guy agrees to scratch a check for $4 billion. And the price was like 18 billion. So he knew as soon as he got that 4 billion, he could get the rest of the money. And he had a deal. It was kind of like an off-market real estate. Nobody knew about the deal, and he was in the conversation. But the reason it didn't happen was that $4 billion guy backdoored him and tried to credit and told the deal. And when they told the deal, then it became well known. And that's when NBC swooped in and bought Universal Studios. That's why NBC now owns it. But he didn't have any money investing in that. And he got a guy to put $4 billion into a good idea. So yeah, big. And what did he say to you, Walter, when you spoke to Ramey about real estate?
He said real estate is the toughest one to make $1 billion in, but he's like, look, here's how you could do it. And I won't share his strategy and like what he did, but because I don't want to, put it out there. But like he found a strategy on a super popular street and he went big enough with it and crazy enough with it where it easily would be more than $1 billion, probably a $4 or $5 billion deal. And but I never had considered like going after that type of location, doing that type of renovation, and raising that type of capital and like where that capital will come from. And
generally his thing, I heard him say it again this weekend. He said that he won't do a deal. Like somebody was asking him out he had like food for us, like lunch or brunch or something like that. So we're all kind of sitting at these tables out at the deck. And anyways, you look down the Hollywood Hills, pretty amazing.
I got to come back to find out what the billionaire food is, but I want you to keep running what you're doing here.
Yeah, it wasn't anything too, it was like sandwich. It was like eggs and bacon and that kind of stuff. It was brunch. But anyways, he said
it's good to know that brunch doesn't change. Yeah. I do feel confident knowing that the food stays about the same.
He's pretty simple. He's not excessive. I mean, I will say that in his garage, he has a Di Tommaso, which is a $1.5 million car that he allowed Ken to get in and start. Ken was the only one. Ken was so happy. He was the only one who got to start that thing. And so I didn't even mention this, but Brenda and I were staying through Monday through to Tuesday. So there was like an auction for the Think and Grow Rich Foundation. And it was like a dinner with Ramey and John Gray, and a couple of people bid on it. And so one was going to do Monday, one was going to do Tuesday, and they each paid like, I think like $3,000 each to go to dinner. And it was a donation, which was nice. But at some point across the room, they're like, why don't we all just go to dinner together? Like, why do we have to have two dinners? Or maybe it was a lunch and a dinner. So when this is all over, Brenda, my bride, says, I'll give $2,500 if John Gray will go to lunch with me. And I'm like, am I? It's like, John Gray, the sex expert, is going with my wife. What the hell's going on? No, I'm kidding. It wasn't like that. But anyway,
not kidding.
So we actually went to lunch with John Gray, but then Ramey agreed to go too. And because we were vegan, he knows the secret, really nice vegan restaurant called Crossroads in West Hollywood. So, oh my God, it was so good that I had to Google at one point to make sure it was vegan. I didn't believe it was vegan. But anyways, so he does this rock star move. First of all, he has a Bentley 4-door, like looks like a limo. Okay, it's not a limo, but it's like the big Bentley. Ken was saying it's probably like a $400,000 car. Okay, he has a driver come pick us up at the hotel. Okay, this is a kid who works for his Tesla EV mobility company. They drive us to the thing, drop us off, and I could see Ramey's Bentley convertible is right there in front of the restaurant. We were like sitting outdoor seating, and the driver pulls up and backs the car in front of the Bentley convertible and just leaves it running the whole lunch with the lights on and with the chauffeur just like hanging out. Like, so you could see people walking by the restaurant that were just kind of like, wait, who's in there? Who's the star? I was like, what a rock star move this is. Because he could have just turned the car off, or I don't know, he could have gone to Starbucks, but that's not what he did. He sits right there. It was so cool. It was really cool. Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild. I wonder why they do that. Like, is that so like when you get out, the car is ready to go? You don't have to wait for it to start up.
Yeah. AC, it's nice, and it was
already
warm.
good.
No, none of that stuff. But they super generous. He and John Gray was super generous with their time. Our lunch was 3 hours long.
Oh,
so
way.
we paid $2,500, but it was a charitable donation. So to something I believe in. In fact, I was going to the Don Green, who's the head of the foundation, I texted him because I want to buy 100 Think and Grow Riches. I want to buy 50 Spanish and 50 in English and start giving them out to people. And I might even sign them myself, just say this book had an amazing effect on me, that kind of thing. So yeah.
Signed by Michael Schein.
There you go.
I got like 3 copies left in the house that I give out every so often.
That's such a good book. Yeah, so that was my big thing. Burning Desire, Think and Grow Rich. And on the other hand, it was nice to get home and be back in my own.
Feels good to be home, doesn't it, Mike?
Well, you're in your own milieu. Like when you're hanging around with like Willie Galt and these people, and they're all like super successful. You're like, shit, what am I doing? I got to get going. But when you're home and you're doing your closings and you're with your friends and all that, I don't know. It's good to be Mike Schein. Let's put it that way.
it's good to be Mike Schein. It's good to have a little peace and like relax. Mitch, what do you think, brother?
I was just thinking history of the world. It's good to be the king.
It's good to be the king. Piss boy.
And you look like a bucket of.
No, this has been a little longer than we normally go. I like to keep these tight and right, but man, so much fun. Like, I think anybody who's listening right now, like, acknowledges like that. 2 or 3 years ago, Mike, these were not the conversations you were having with people. Like,
not at all. No, you're absolutely right.
Not even close. Not even remotely close.
I met a billionaire. I mean, the thing is that it was like accidental, but I really think it's because the 3 of us, and I mean it, this is not just me, I'm not blowing smoke, but the 3 of us have leveled up. And so the fact that someone like Ken Walls is introducing me to a billionaire is no accident. I think it's that we're getting into the right rooms. Like even at Craig Duswalt's, there's super successful people all around, Get yourself.
It was a room full of successful, millionaires, multimillionaires, people who are coaching, training, teaching.
Mel and Steve were saying that about 10X, that they had the same feeling. How cool is this, by the way? I did a closing with Melanie and Steve yesterday. They're on the seller side. So of course we went and had sushi because that's what you have to do. So Steve was saying we should just get rid of the law office and just have an office. Every closing is at a sushi restaurant or you go to sushi right after, that kind of thing.
This is a better model than the traveling attorney. Remember you used to call yourself the traveling attorney? I think the sushi attorney is way better. And you can do this all across the country. Like we just do closings in restaurants.
Right. That's how it's done. And then we buy your dinner afterwards. And but they said the same thing about 10X. They said, around the people I hang out with, we're usually the people who are the most successful, and in a very modest way. I'm not saying they brag, but when you get in the 10X room, and you guys have been there, there are
players.
People, big.
And that's why I love going to events like that. They stretch me, right? Like I tell us to Doreen all the time. Like when I'm in Fall River, I feel like the big fish. I feel okay, I'm kind of like the big guy
big
in
fish,
town.
Small pond.
Big fish, small pond. And I used to love that. That used to give me so much comfort. But like when I get into a room like 10X or Craig's Rock Your Life, or like even the 100 Millionaire Summit, I'm not the richest guy in the 100 Millionaire Summit. Like there's like Vinny Chopra will be there, right? Rod Khleif will be there. Like there's players who have so much more experience, units. They've served and they've trained so many more people, like big level coaches. So like it stretches me, and I love that. Like I love just knowing that there's still room to grow. I'm not dead yet. Like there's still a lot of experiences I've never had, and like hearing their stories mean there's things I could try, things I could do. Like, we're just getting started, man. We're having so much fun.
I also think that you realize that these people who are successful with money are just regular people, which also gives me confidence that they. Well, actually, Ramey had a funny story. So Ramey's whole story is that he burnt his boats to go and follow Adnan Khashoggi, who at the time was the richest man in the world. And he said he'd heard all these people say, they're no different from us. They put their pants on one leg at a time. And he said the first time he was ever asked to come into like Adnan's like hotel room, like when he finally got to be friends with Adnan, he goes in there and actually there was like one of his guys was actually putting Adnan Khashoggi's pants on him for him. So they don't.
Not the same. It's not the same.
Oh, that's so good.
This is a good point, you know?
Yeah. But in general, all these people you meet and you realize that they're just like us. They just in Ramey's case, they had a burning desire, which was his to have an incredible life, and they just went for it and just kept doing it. And if one practical takeaway from the Sunday Monday thing is to read Think and Grow Rich. I mean, Ramey's read it over 100 times, and I just put it on when I was riding my bike the other day, and I'm gonna start interchanging it with The Science of Getting Rich.
I love that. And I think I may do the same. Not I think. I am going to do the same thing because I listen to that book every year, but why not listen to it a little bit more often? Why not, rotate it out maybe once a month instead of just because The Science of Getting Rich makes me feel good. No doubt. Like, it makes me feel good, puts me back into like a good state of mind, and reminds me of positivity, focus, creativity. But Think and Grow Rich is so deep. And I always have such profound thoughts when I'm listening to it that.
Yeah. And every time I listen, I get something new out of it because it is thick. Of your foundational 5, I know in Alchemist Nation, you always tell the mentees, you
2
say
weeks.
Every other one gets 1 week, but that book take 2 weeks because it's so dense, it's so thick, and it's worth it.
And to be real, Mike, like even the way Napoleon Hill talked about his mastermind being, you read one chapter for twice a week, so every it was like 2 times a week you're meeting and you're reading one chapter, and then you're reading the next chapter and read the next chapter. And like I look at that, I think that's like probably the only mastermind that should actually exist and actually be in place, because imagine you're there with like 8 or 12 other people, and all you've done is listen to this chapter and you're all discussing that, right? Like it's
amazing.
Like now you're going to get real true depth, really, really deep understanding of principles that matter. Like the only actual principles that actually matter at all.
Yeah, I totally agree. The story of Edison and Barnes in Think and Grow Rich, that he said, I'm going to work with you, not for you. It's just, every time I hear it, it's like, wow, this guy burnt his boats, said he was going there, just showed up and just stuck around, and finally got his opportunity and crushed it.
I look at what we're doing right now and like how many people we're serving, and I fantasized, a year ago being like, man, I want to help all the coaches and trainers out there that are building millionaires. And now we've got a platform. Alchemist Nation is literally taking those coaches and marketing them for them, like putting them out there, helping them build communities. Like now they're coming to us saying, how do I get on your platform? How do I get on your podcast? Like,
wow, that's amazing.
Wild, Mike. Yeah, I'm clapping me too. Like, but
clap for me.
Hell yeah.
Clap for him.
But it was like a thought, and it seemed impossible because these are all players. Like these are, top level players who like have no reason to, be doing anything other than what they're already doing. They're already crushing it. So it's, what a cool world. What a cool life. So anybody who's listening right now. Yep.
Wait, I got one more thing. That was another thing that I was saying, when you're in that milieu, sometimes you can get a little jealous because all these people, but I noticed that once I get back into my own home area, I'm really excited for all the different people. Like, like Walter, when you were at that seminar this weekend, Rock Your Life, you were getting some great things. You're going to have Craig on your stage. You're going to be on his stage. And I'm just very happy for all my friends. Like I could see Ken getting like benefits, and there were just lots of people in the room that were having just really cool things happen to them. And that's a really nice part of being in these type of things, is watching success, for your friends. It's awesome.
It's epic. Mike, wait till you see what I've got planned for the 100 Millionaire Summit. I was actually planning it a little bit today and yesterday with Ron and Dorina, and kind of mapping out like how this thing works and like what we're going to be bringing everybody through. And like we had a lot of fun last year, and we were super impactful, super effective. This year, like it's just so much bigger. I have so many more tools, so many more players who are like donating things and like bringing their game to the game. And it's like
So awesome.
even the
Gonna have
master program,
is it 5 days now? Is it 5 days?
still 3 days, but man, we're going long on these days. We had Julie Bradley was looking. She's like, "Is that midnight?" I was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to midnight." Like this, it's impossible not to. Like people have paid, people have flown. Like I'm not going to get them to fly out here again next week for an extra day, or they're not going to stay for an extra day. But they're already here.
They should.
They can, right? Like they can really just stretch their bodies and force themselves to get the max out of a full 3 days. But no, on Friday we are going to end at 5 o'clock. I know a lot of events, flatten out. They like end at like 12 or 1. Like, no, dude, like book your flights to 8 o'clock at night because we're going all the way. But I was looking at the mastery program that we're going to offer this year, and mastery was badass last year for sure. It was insane. It was super valuable,
ridiculous value.
Yeah,
but this year,
value. Yep.
Because I got more players, right? So like now it's even better.
Wow. So you got them to donate. You got them to donate like courses and things like that as part of your stack. Is that what's called a stack?
It's called the stack.
Nice,
yep.
Nice
value
job.
stack. Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's nuts. This thing it's just pimped out. I'm so proud of it. And like the intention the entire time was, how do I build millionaires? Like what would build millionaires faster? What do you have that builds millionaires? That's what I asked them. Like, hey, what do you got that builds millionaires? Like, what is the most powerful thing that you have that builds millionaires? And like, all right, that's what I want. Can we do that? And we had to check the dates to make sure all the things that they're doing line up. So like a lot of complexity on the back end, but the way it works, I'll talk about it at the summit.
When are we going to have a billionaires one so that the people want to be billionaires? You're going to build billionaires.
Look, we got to get there first, Mike. That's what we're working on right here, man.
Yeah.
We got to get there first. You got to learn it, do it, and then teach it.
Yeah.
So we're in that phase. I think that I feel comfortable and confident with Pentamillionaire. Next year, I'll feel great with Decamillionaire. And who knows, with the market the way it is, we could be hitting, like Centimillionaire next year.
Mike, when he builds 100
now.
millionaires, at that point, he'll likely be a billionaire.
Yeah,
so that's
right.
when.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. Once we get to, I say 1,000 millionaires, that definitely puts us in billionaire status, because with 1,000 billionaires, 1,000 millionaires, all you need from 1,000 millionaires is $100,000, I think, to invest. Or is it $1 million? It's $1 million 1,000 times makes a billion, right?
Right.
So if 1,000 millionaires, that will have been built $1 billion of net worth for students. So that would be like the first accomplishment. Then it's invest with those students.
I love it. Yeah, and that's what we were talking about with going to like 10x. You're going to be coming to the summit because the people in the room are just so, you have to be there to meet those people. Yeah. And
that's one of the things I may not like. So one of the things we toyed with was, could we get grants, tickets? Could I get him to like give us a group discount, or I can include 10x as part of the mastery program? So we are in negotiations. I don't feel confident about it right now, but I will say
change your mindset.
That was one of my ideas early in the year. And while we were at 10x, I was like talking to his team, being like, hey, like, if I bought like 100 tickets, if I bought 200 tickets, like, would you guys hook us up?
Yeah.
So we may,
no dice.
Yeah, I'm not gonna commit to it right now, but after, because that was the thing, I didn't know how many tickets we would sell. I didn't know how many people were actually going to be in the mastery.
So right,
program.
Everyone's schedule is going to be packed with all the Alchemist Mastery events.
Yeah, but they're going to have the financial freedom to do it. So,
dude, you're supposed to jump and the net appears.
Exactly. Jump in the net appears, Mitch.
Jump and the grant appears.
See, here's the thinking that stops people, right? Like they think they go to this event and it's going to take them months to implement. Yeah. When I go to an event, I'm implementing at the event. My cell phone is firing off, things to my partners, things to my strategic partners, things to my team, my staff, my VAs. Like I'm in the meeting, like I'm in those 3 days, I'm firing off results. Like it's done. I can go to the next one right afterwards because I've already implemented everything that I learned. I'm not taking notes, I'm firing off like do this, do this, do this.
Yeah. The other thing I learned from this one that I wish I'd done more is, and I know, Walter, if you'd been there in LA, is a lot of the people who were there took a lot of pictures with these famous people, and I didn't really do that.
Like,
But it's okay. It's my first of many, so it's
You
fine.
pulled a
first
me.
of many.
Yeah. But I mean, I did get pictures like with John Gray, Man from Mars. I got pictures with Ramey. So, you know, but like not Willie Galt and not Don Green from Think
You got regrets, right? There's some regrets.
Yes.
You still got
Yeah.
enough pictures. 'Cause I saw the pics on Facebook. So
Yeah.
you got
I
plenty
met-
of
Oh,
pics.
and Glenn Morshower and Steve Rizzo. So other people were taking pictures of me. So that
There you
that,
go.
that made it's
That's
all
what I
good,
do.
but
I just
just learning.
piggyback off the photos
Right.
the other people take of us.
Yeah.
Pretty
But
epic.
it's all learning. I mean, Walter, how many years have you been going to these events? Because this is probably only my second year of going to events. Like,
So there you go, Mike. You know, and COVID slowed you down a little bit. So, you know, we'll just say that we're all a little rusty, and
Yeah.
we're shaking off the rust and kicking ass and taking names again. So,
But I will say is that there's something to be said for going to an event with a billionaire and not asking him for anything.
yeah.
You know, like I didn't like when we were at lunch with him and John Gray, Brenda was the one who wanted to talk to John Gray about all this relationship stuff because she thinks she wants to be like a relationship coach, and
Brenda's going to be a relationship coach.
yeah. So
Let's
she
put it in
wanted
the universe.
she wanted to just ask him about like coaching and just different things that he thinks about. So I really, even though Ramey was there, I really didn't think it was my place to start asking Ramey a bunch of questions. And I think that actually works well with Ramey because he could see that I love my wife and we were there for a purpose, and it wasn't, you know, he had just been through 2 days of people pitching deals to him. It's like,
Oh, I got you. Pitching
yeah,
deals.
so I'm just kind of like, I wasn't doing it like strategy. I was just like, this doesn't seem like the place.
Oh, I'm with you 100%, man. Like, I go back to my days of being single, like where Mitch is right now, single
Yeah.
out there hunting, looking to mingle. And like, if a girl was getting hit on by a bunch of guys at the bar, I just be like, that's
Yeah.
not my girl tonight. Like, I'm not even worried about it. You know, like she's already getting slaughtered by people. It's like, I'm going to go to another bar, right? Like, I'm going to be here, you know, I'll be present, you know, and
Yeah.
if I want to go have a conversation with her, if I think, you know, if I know her or I think that she's worth knowing, I'll have a conversation with her, but there's going to be no
Yeah.
pitch, right? It's
Yeah.
just, you know, just hanging out. If I found value in like that relationship, and that, like what you did with Ramey was you
Ramey.
saw value and you said, you know what, definitely not going to pitch tonight, and you probably didn't even know what to pitch, right?
Yeah.
Like-
I wasn't going to pitch anything, but I did say something funny at the end. So we're sitting for lunch with John Gray and Ramey, billionaire, and a guy who sold 50 million books.
Was this Steve Rizzo funny?
Yeah. I don't know. Steve would have probably said it was funny. He said one of my jokes, by the way, was
I
funny
remember.
at the other event. But he said, so 3 hours of talking. John Gray doing most of the talking. I'm watching Ramey hit his phone and say, yeah, we got to push that meeting and I need to push that meeting. And he's being really nice to us, but he's pushing meetings.
Yeah.
So we're just sort of rustling our chairs to get up. And I was like, wait, I haven't had a chance to ask Ramey about my title company. And so John Gray's like, oh no. And I'm like, no, I'm just kidding around. After 3 hours. So yeah, it's cool. It's
Kidding, not
cool.
kidding. I want to ask
right,
Ramey about my
right.
title company. Ramey, what do you
Dinner?
think? Like,
Dinner?
Hashtag
what should I
title.
do? Like, is there a thing? There's a one thing that you know?
I heard
man-
people were pitching at that Saturday, Sunday thing, but I was like, I wouldn't be pitching to him. I would be asking his advice. Say, hey, I've got a title company and this is what I'm thinking of doing. What do you think of this? I'm not like asking for his money. I mean, it just didn't.
No, Mike,
I was
this
actually
is-
surprised. Everybody in one of those things where I said that John Gray had more and more people watching.
Yeah.
They were individual pitching with Ramey. 9 or 10 people pitched deals to him. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's just, I don't know. I just didn't even think of it on my, it
That's-
wasn't on my radar. to be-
And that, for everybody who's listening right now, that is why you're very good at raising capital. Because, and that's, you know, where my strength is raising capital is we don't pitch until we know the person has the itch, right? Until we
I like
know
it.
that they're like, hey man, if you ever get a deal, let me know. Like, that's what I'll pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like,
Yeah.
then just, what learning, right? Learn from the person, share, contribute. Like,
I think like exactly. You need to know, like, and try. I know it's a cliche now, but that's really it. Like, I got to know, he's got to know me. He's got to like me. He's got to trust me, and vice versa. Know, like, and trust.
The vice versa is all I'm looking at this point in my life. It's just, hey, do I like this person? Do I trust this person? Do I want to work with this person? And if so, then I'll pitch, right? Like, if I like them, then I'll say, hey, you know what? I like you enough to share you with a deal that I'm doing.
Exactly.
But like, I cannot look at it as like, oh, do I want, like, do they like me? Like, I don't give a shit. It's like, do I like them enough
that's a good point.
to put them in a deal?
But I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you saw this when you were young.
It's the right mindset, Mike. You got the right mindset.
Well, you remember you used to watch cartoons, and there was always this like big bulldog, and the bulldog would see the cat, and the cat would suddenly turn into a steak.
Are you talking about Tom and Jerry?
Yeah, like that kind of thing. Well, that's what I feel like. Oh, here's this billionaire, and they're all looking at him, and he turns into like a steak that they, you know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing? Like, really? This is where it's going to happen. He's having a charity event, and he has the kindness to let you into his house, and you're going to pitch your new fly swatter or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know.
I get the same thing. I was at a comedy show in Tampa yesterday or the day before, and
Steve Rizzo funny.
I wish it was not Steve Rizzo funny. This was local Tampa comedy, which, giving them a lot of blessings, because I haven't done it yet. So I would like I'm working my way into, at some point, getting up and doing a little comedy skit just to say I did it at some point. So I'm watching these guys, and I'm sitting there with Luba and Dorina. We're just hanging out, and I'm wearing the 100 Millionaire shirt. And so the guy starts heckling people in the room. He says, "Oh, I see your shirt." He says, "Are you with those two women?" I was like, "Well, yeah. I mean, they're both going home with me tonight, if that's technically."
Talk about framing perspective. Look at you selling it.
So he and then he asks, so are you really a millionaire? He's like, "So what do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, I build millionaires." And he's like, "Oh, so are you a millionaire?" I was like, "Yes, I am a millionaire through real estate." And he said, like, he couldn't quite. He's like, "So can I borrow a couple $100?" And I was like, "Dude, like, that's not even. It's not one. It's not funny." So you're on stage now. Everybody's like, "Dude, like, I could have thought of that one." But two, it's like, why is that the first thing somebody thinks of? Right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, no, like, you're a millionaire. You should be asking me how I fucking did it. Like, like, how'd you do it? Like, whoa, millionaire, like, how? Like, so it's all good.
Oh, by the way, just to give a plug to Steve Rizzo. Okay. So not that he needs a plug, but God, so funny. When we were at the Craig Duswell thing, he did his Falkland Islands routine. So if you have time, go on YouTube and look for Steve Rizzo, Falkland Islands. Oh my God, my stomach was hurting because it was so funny. Of course, do that right after you sign up for the 100 Millionaire Summit, and then go to Steve Rizzo's thing. And funny. Steve Rizzo, just a man that's very funny, but he also has a great heart. Like, I had like the biggest connection. I had a great connection, I felt like, with Glenn also, but Steve is just, I don't know, something special about him too.
Yeah. These are all really good guys. It's such a powerful event. There's a bunch of people from Facebook saying hi. We got Troy Aberly, we got Tom Jin on there. What's up, guys? Good to see you.
What's up?
And Mitch, I know you've been kind of quiet, so we're not going to talk about your dating life, but I would like to know about the crypto world. Just
Mike, I'm going to get a girlfriend just so Walter can't keep using that line. Like, just beating a dead horse.
Speaking of a dead horse, how is crypto doing?
Right, but people don't understand is that before we get on, that's what we talk about. So it's some context for Walter.
Walter and Mike get some free entertainment. That is my dating life. It is some adventurous stories.
Vicariously through Mitch's dating.
Well, no, actually, we want Mitch to get a girlfriend so 6 of us can all go out and.
We can have couple nights.
Can I just
go out and we have relationship sushi,
every
Mitch.
Major event.
Yeah, sure.
So no, crypto's not looking like a dead horse, dude.
It's coming back.
I don't know, it's coming back, but
Oh, no way. Look at the charts.
What I will
Oh,
say
it's
is
Friday.
this.
It's Friday. I'm trying to.
That
be
is a pure
optimistic.
stare. That is a stare, drop, stare, drop. Guess what comes after the next stare?
Drop.
Possibly a drop.
A railing.
Mitch,
I don't know, man.
You know what? I missed a few Tuesday nights with the crypto mastermind, so I may be I may be totally out of my
Out of
field right now.
touch. Yeah.
Out of
All I'm
touch.
going to say is I'm still leaving plenty of fresh powder for potential lower buying opportunities. But at the same time, my conviction of that has been dwindling. I would say right now, I'm at a coin flip on whether we see drastic new lows or whether this is the low.
Bro, I'm just
4,000.
looking at, and it's like
4,000.
consistent. The trend is your friend. You know,
It is trending down.
Are you shorting this right now, Mitch?
I am not short.
no, he's no way he's short. This is his baby.
I added a
No,
bunch,
he's
like
short.
I said,
He does some
at
short.
18 and 19 and 20.
Yeah.
I bought some
Nice.
alts too, actually. Finally, the other day, I bought some more Atom and some more Rune, but I
Wow,
still got
that's good.
fresh powder for if we do leg down one more time. If it wasn't for the economy and the stock market, I'd actually probably be more aggressive in crypto right now. But
Yeah, but it's not about crypto. It's about
Yeah.
the stock market. It's about the economy. And like I am not a Debbie Downer. I'm not a naysayer. Like I love a good recession. Like I've been excited for this for a long time. Like 2008, I missed out on so many opportunities and I made a commitment back then. I said, man, like when it comes back around, I'm going to crush it. And it's been 14 years of me preparing, building my skills, my knowledge, my
Right.
network. And it's finally here. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm not ready. I need
Yeah.
more time.
Well, the irony is that you've been talking about the market turning since 2017, and I
2015, Mike. I just
made
nobody
all
heard about
my-
it back then.
I actually bought all my real estate during that time. So every time I would buy something, I'm like, this is my coach and my leader telling me that it could turn, and I'm like, but we're getting good deals, so we got to go. So
The
I'm
numbers
almost
work.
in
Take
disbelief.
much
I'm almost
longer to
in
soften up.
disbelief. I'm almost in disbelief that it's actually here. You know,
Same, man. Like, and I remember in 2018 when the Fed started pumping up rates again, I was thinking, I was like, oh, could this be it? Could
Yeah,
this
yeah.
be the one? And we started prepping and we started, making
You know,
moves. And then the market came back.
well,
You
it's
know, and
because
then-
they stopped.
Yeah.
They
And then the real
reversed
estate
course.
market just like soared to the moon through COVID. And it was like, what is going on? Do we ever get a
20
correction?
I think
Yeah, right.
28, like 2018, more so 2019, we would have saw a correction.
We
if
should have.
The Fed didn't reverse course. Instead, it just became more easy money, more
right.
steroids in the economy. And then, the hangover got pushed even further out because then COVID happened. So it's like, now we're really going to juice it and just literally hand out free money, which is never free. Now everyone's paying for it.
Yeah.
But
No,
Hyper
you're
ball.
absolutely right. They just put it on the printing machine.
Yeah,
so
now
we'll
this
see.
like hyperinflation is now causing massive deflation in the stock market and in crypto.
Mhm.
And the gold hasn't done anything, right? Gold has been $1,800 this entire time. So like I don't know what gold's even pegged to anymore. Or the dollar like is depreciating as much as gold is depreciating. So like there's something wrong with gold itself. And then I heard somebody the other day say all of crypto, if you take all of crypto, it is
Yeah.
still smaller than Apple. Right,
Yes.
just one stock in the entire like portfolio of stocks, the 7,000 stocks that are out there. Like all these cryptocurrencies they're just like overvalued. Every single one of them is overvalued because they're not, they're just like one little sector. Not even a sector. They're just like one sized company, and so
I mean,
it's
essentially,
Crazy. It's crazy.
it's only going to get bigger. More and more institutions are coming in.
Hey, whatever
it's
happened
gonna
to
change.
Michael? What happened to Michael Saylor? I thought that if it went below 20,000,
Nothing happened to Michael Saylor. They just bought a crap ton more Bitcoin.
Yeah, but I thought someone said something that he would get a margin call at 20,000.
I think if it went, no, it wasn't 20. It was like
complete
18 or-
FUD.
That was
complete
FUD,
FUD.
right? Yeah.
He's not buying on margin.
They're not even close to being in any kind of trouble unless Bitcoin literally gets to 4,000, I think.
That's right. That's Neil's.
And they're not even in
Neil's
trouble.
price.
It's just like then they'd get a margin call. And it's like, all right,
That's
here you go.
Neil's
Here's
price.
some money.
Yeah. $4
Yeah.
grand is Neil's price.
$4,000 is my price.
Yeah.
What's the
Oh my
$4,000?
God.
Back the truck up.
If we see $4,000, that means
Seriously.
the entire economy, like it basically the economy will feel like 2008 again.
Yeah.
Don't get me excited, Mitch. That's what I've been looking for ever since 2008.
Oh, you and me both, man. Of course, we wish we had the Wayback Machine. Like, if I, knew then what I know now, you kidding me? I'd be buying hand over fist. So, I mean,
Right?
nothing's even happened yet. And like, we're already excited about just a little bit of weakness we've seen in real estate, as in like, there's not bidding wars anymore. Like people are cutting prices. Like you can actually ask for concessions again. Like when you're negotiating, it's like we're excited.
Was 2008 when Grant Cardone went in and bought up all of San Diego? Was that when he?
I got to go look at when he did those. I think those were 2010 deals. 2010,
he said everybody was moving, just kind of like now. People are moving out of California, complaining about the prices. And I remember reading one of his books where he said, let's go get this. I don't remember the year, but he said, buy, and just bought up everything in San Diego. So,
yep.
If he was buying back then, 2010, that was like at that point, everything had bottomed out and things started creeping up from there.
And my thing that I want to look for, sorry to interrupt, but my thing I want to look for is there was this thing on like NBC News in like 2008 or 9, where there was like this 80-story condo in Florida, but there was only one guy in one apartment. Like all the other ones were all abandoned, and he had the only one.
I want that.
The elevator, he would like lock off the elevator. The 80 stories, it's something crazy like
that. Is next level.
So like when it hits that way, I'll be calling both of you when I see that. It's like, guys, we have to go buy condos in Florida.
We're going in
hard.
I think that was a once in a lifetime. One guy in an 80-floor building. That was a once in a lifetime.
Yeah. When they show him, he's like peeking out the door, like there's no concierge or anything, like he's downstairs.
This is what we hope for, right? Like not to like, I know that there's a lot of people out there who are suffering and like scared. Like I've been watching the Fed talk about unemployment rates go up, and we've been seeing interest rates go up. We've seen people have a hard time buying houses. Like there's definitely some stuff, like we've seen inflation. I know milk's expensive. I've seen gas. Like gas is the only thing I actually see because I don't actually go into stores and see prices, but like the gas I can drive by and see like, oh, that's a little more than it used to be.
Yeah.
So I know like it's definitely hurting people, and I know people are suffering. We're actually starting something called the 30-day recession proof challenge. So we're going to be focusing on helping people increase their income. We've been heavily focused on net worth, but we're going to focus a little bit the next 6 months, year maybe, on income, just helping people like double their income, focus on that kind of arena because it makes sense. It's what the world needs right now. And I've got Andrew working.
Buy businesses.
It's buy businesses. Yeah. For the most part, it's buy businesses or build businesses. That's where cash flow is. That's what makes the most sense. It's not going to give you a ton of net worth right away, but not like real estate. It's not going to be like, hey, my net worth is this now, but we can build millionaires through business, right? Or we can certainly do it.
Absolutely.
Totally.
I'm off like, I always poke around that idea of buying small businesses, especially if I have if I know someone I can put in place as the operator.
Landscaping,
I'm not trying to
companies,
buy a job.
Laundromats, car wash, ice cream shops.
Well, the laundromats and the car wash are real estate deals. Like they got businesses attached to them. But these other businesses, you can get dirt cheap because there's no real estate attached. It's like just cash flow.
That's a good point. Well, my partner, Ken Hoffman, that's what happened. He couldn't find any real estate, so he started looking for businesses.
Yeah.
In the car wash, he found a business with real estate. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So you're going to see us start coaching a lot more businesses, like really focus on businesses, focus on sales, marketing systems. Like,
should we all buy a Subway? Should we all buy a Subway?
I love Subways.
I mean,
Subways do good in a down economy. So
we know some people that can run it. I'm with it. As long as I don't gotta be, have to work.
Yeah,
I'm with it.
So we have to ask at Generator Coaching.
Here's one that does very well. There's one that
Mel and Steve about whether we can buy a Subway and somehow have them run it, right?
They can start a management.
They would help with the acquisition. I don't think they want to run it, but we can put management in place.
There you go.
So rental agents, property management companies, and landlords crush it in a down economy.
Yeah. What was the first one you said?
Rental agents, property management companies, home stagers, anybody who's helping sellers sell their properties. and like reposition their properties, make them look a little nicer. And then obviously landlords just absolutely crush it. Landlords, if you're already a landlord, this isn't, becoming a landlord, but already a landlord in this market, you are recession proof because rents are going to keep going up. And it's just a matter of collecting those rents.
We have a tenant who just told us she's moving out because she's moving in with her boyfriend. She was like a super nice tenant. So, and she's bummed out because she loved the little cottage that we own. And so Brenda put it on.
Rent's going up.
That's right. Brenda put it on Zillow. And her phone, just Zillow, it's free. The first 5 you put on there, whatever. Her phone is blowing up.
Yeah.
And the rent has gone up as we've owned it over the years.
It's priced it too low if the rent's if the phone's blowing up.
I disagree.
Go up a little bit.
I actually disagree because it's just the demand now. And if I'm putting my phone number out there, I do Facebook Marketplace.
Same. Yeah, I don't.
They can hit me on Facebook Messenger. And when I list something, my Facebook Messenger blows up for the next 48 hours.
Right. Yeah. Brenda, who says we're moving to Roatan, so we don't need any more apartments here in Rhode Island, said, so we have to, she shot me a text. She's like, we need more apartments.
Love it.
Because this 1-bedroom cottage, just 30 people within, like a day, more than that, probably. She shut it off because we found somebody already. But that's
a whole nother level. I'm not even getting that.
One day. The first people were perfect. Vegan too, by the way.
Look at that. They're in. They had the notch ahead of everyone just for that right there. Like, you're qualified and you're vegan, you win.
Yeah. Well, Brenda was like, wait a sec. You know how you get that thing where, wait a sec, it was too easy. First person who calls, perfect, great credit scores, all that stuff, and move in August 1st. They're all set to go. We were like,
done.
I'm like,
guys, how did we do an hour and a half when we were supposed to only do 20 minutes?
I was thinking about that. When I saw the clock strike the top of the hour,
other.
I'm like, I think Walter needs to leave soon. He's supposed to go to the beach or something. And then here we are almost 30 minutes later. I'm like,
we love each other and we haven't talked for so long. So that's what it's been a few weeks.
Usually we do way more.
Me and you, Mike, we were actually in Dallas together. So
Walter hit the recording.
Awesome. By the way, I talked about all those other people, but it was really join the mentorship, join Alchemist Nation, because spending time with Walter in person is inspiring. It's he is the most positive person that I've ever met, and there is no situation that he doesn't effortlessly find something good about it. And it's not just like a trick that he does. He just does it. Like we went to the restaurant, the vegan restaurant. Yep. We're there in Dallas. It's 110 degrees out. They've got a sign that says, we recommend takeout because it's too hot in here. I guess their air conditioning was gone. And Walter's just like, oh no, this is going to be great. It's going to be nice and warm. We're all set. Or I forgot what he said, but it was perfectly positive. And then everybody that walked through the door, he's like, yeah, have a seat. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
I feel bad for the business, right? If they're struggling, it's like, dude, like, let's give them some business, Like,
yeah. And they were like moving fans around to us. Would you like a fan? And oh my God, great food and nice.
Those guys were awesome.
And
that was vegan. That was delicious.
And it was great to be with Walter for that reason. And another thing, geez, if you get to hang out with Walter is fearless. Talk about fearless. He talks to everybody. And I'm like, do you know that person? He's like, no, he's like, he points to people. He's like, we got to connect later. You and I. And I'm like, is that a friend of yours? He's like, no, I just saw him now.
Like, not yet. I mean, but who knows? This could become something great.
Yeah.
That's, what is that? Like, Mike, it's coming to America. Who is that? Just some man that I met in the restroom.
Yeah, right. It's totally true. Oh, I got to ask you, Walter. So you said that you're acting as it's going on so that you don't need to go back and look at your notes. When you connect with people at one of these events,
yep,
you take their information, I'm assuming. What else do you do?
Shoot them a text. So I don't even open up people open their directory and they start putting the contact information in. I don't even do that. I just ask for your number and I shoot you a text. I literally open up my text messenger drop in your
Okay.
number, and I send you a text that says, hey, this is Walter. We met at this event. And if you could send me your first and last name and maybe your email address, I'll put you in my phone later on. Here's my email.
Nice job. And is that
And I just copy and
automatic?
paste that anytime I'm at an event.
Is it copy and paste? That's what I was going to say. So you don't have to type that all out every time.
No, that's the only thing I'm pasting that day.
Nice. Nice. And then what do you do when you get home with that information?
So I'll put them in my CRM. My CRM just follows up automatically.
Okay. And you say something like where you met them? Like,
Yeah,
that you
so
know?
So the Alchemist Connect. So my first text was already, hey, this is where I met you. I met you at this event. So then my next text is, hey, we connected. I just want to, jump on a call with you this week. Are you free? Are you available? Here's my link. And it sends them a calendar link to jump on a call.
Dude, I have a new course for you for Alchemist Nation. You should do a quick course on how to behave at one of these events. Like, I think that would be super valuable, like
How to maximize connecting at events.
Yeah, how to connect, what you're doing, what Walter does at an event, what he's not doing, just something quick, because I think that
Super
would be valuable.
Connector 101.
You know what they got to do, Mike? They got to come network with me at an event. I think that's
They got to come to
it.
the 100 Millionaire
You're
Summit.
watching it, right? You're seeing it and you're watching, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like, damn, like he does that. I didn't think of that. But like, if I put it into a course, nobody wants a networking course. They all think they know what they're doing.
I want it. I would like
You
that
do?
information. I call bullshit. I would want that information.
All right, I would need like 20 people to send me a text message and be like, hey, I would like to know about your networking course. If so, everybody listening right now, if anybody listened to the end of an hour conversation between me and Mike and Mitch, and you're still listening, then 20 text messages. I get 20 text messages to do networking. So Mike, I'll call your bluff on that one. Like, that's
Mike,
Okay.
it's easy. We'll just make it happen when we're at the generator event.
Yeah, I'll do it. Fuck
We'll
it.
have
There you go.
enough people in the
Yeah.
room. And then also we'll pin down Roatan. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be all over Steve and Mel and whoever else was coming to Roatan in
They already
October.
said they're going. They're going the day after. So
All
that
right. Well, I
Monday.
want to start booking some stuff.
And
So
Brenda already blocked the rooms, so you've got
They-
a room already. So yeah.
hell
So
yeah.
there you go. So
maybe my quest will be to have a steady girlfriend by then. And I'll bring, so I don't have to be a ninth wheel.
bring the DI.
I
DI.
mean, she would enjoy the trip. You guys would.
Sure.
She's good people. She's a rock star.
I'm
Really?
sweating as Mitch's like personal life bleeds over into the actual podcast. I'm like, whoa, hold on. Stuff we
Slow
said.
down. Slow down, Mike.
Not good. Not
We,
good.
we don't call
we're-
people by their name. We call them by their disc.
We're
profile.
live.
That's right.
We're live.
Oops, sorry.
Keep
My
it
bad.
professional.
So I guess it's about that time. I do have to go to the beach, and
Well, it's have to. You get to.
I get to
Not
go to
get
the
to.
beach. I'm excited.
You
Two
get to
beautiful
go to the
Russians
beach
will be
and try and
swimming
live like the cat.
while I'm listening to Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So
Nice. And
There you
hanging
go.
out with Liuba and Darina.
that's right. Two
Nice.
abundance
And-
mindseted.
Anybody
Russians.
else?
It's possible the McMurrays will join us.
Nice.
I will give them the invite. Amy and Andrew just got home yesterday,
From
Thursday,
LA. Yeah,
from LA.
California.
and they came over to me today and said, guys, we need to sit down and have like a plan, a meeting. We're like 94 days until the summit, and we got a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of channels, and
Nice.
I was just like, yes, let's
One
write it
quarter
all down.
away.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna start. Listen, you know how it is. People don't plan super far in advance. So like all the people that I've like kind of poked and teased about the summit that seem interested in the coming weeks, I'm gonna finally start hitting them with the link and be like, this is it.
Oh, hell yeah. Like, dude, we've already got 55 tickets sold. Some of those are VIPs. So I'll be talking about the VIPs a lot, the next couple of weeks. So the VIPs sold out. Then I'll go after executives. So that's sold out. And then,
Nice.
it'll
Hey,
be the
Mitch,
general
if I-
tickets that sell out last.
Mitch, I got a question for you. If I fly from Roatan to Miami, then what do? You just jump on another plane to Orlando, or is it a drive, or what do you do?
I never looked to
Take
see
the
if they
plane?
do flights from Miami to Orlando.
Must.
Yeah, they definitely do.
You'd be surprised, but they probably do. I would assume they do.
Checking now.
Yeah, you could look right now.
Hey,
But yeah,
wanna
your
hear something
options are
crazy? We have to get our dog to Roatan. So check this out. All these people have stopped, United, American, all of them said no more pets. Okay, so we're
Madness.
flying We have to fly Boston to Miami to Mexico City. get
Like
on a
it's an
different-
hour and 20 minutes, and the cheapest flight is $50. The most expensive flight
There
is
you go.
$220.
I
So,
figured
yeah,
from Miami because they don't do.
It's Miami to Orlando, right?
Miami to Orlando.
Yeah, they don't do
Nice.
Lauderdale, but I figured Miami would potentially be there.
Nice.
Orlando goes everywhere. That's
Yeah, because well, sort of like Miami goes everywhere, definitely.
Great.
Yeah, you can fly it or you could drive it. Or technically you could train. You could technically take a train. I mean, the fast train's not built yet, but Amtrak goes, but that's super slow.
Gotcha.
Tampa
Gotcha.
doesn't go to Orlando though.
But anyway, so my dog.
No, why would
my
Tampa
dog-
fly to Orlando? It's like an hour and a half drive.
My dog has
2-hour
to go
drive
through
in traffic.
Mexico. My dog has to go through Mexico City. Like it has to go
Oh,
fly
no.
to Miami, fly to Mexico City, fly to the Honduras mainland, and then
Mike,
You
fly
can't
to
just buy like
Roseau.
a seat and just sit the dog on the seat there.
Yeah, we thought we could, but
This is
no.
Walter.
No.
This is why Mike's trying to be a billionaire so he can fly private and
You got to
take
call the
his
dog your
on
like
his own
emotional
private
dog or
plane.
something. Emotional support dog. Then you'd be
Yeah,
fine.
that's what I
Walk
said
him right
to
on the plane.
Brenda. That's right. I need this dog to help
I
me.
can't
Perfect.
separate from it. I get emotional anxiety when I'm just alone with my wife. It's crazy. Without the dog here, it's nuts.
The dog here. Luna to save the day. Yeah.
Kidding. If
As long
Brenda's
as we're not
listening,
talking about
totally
No,
kidding.
she's
crypto.
not. She's not.
Safe.
Then Luna does not save the day.
No. Yeah, right? That's the wrong crypto, right? Luna.
Oh,
Anyways.
man.
All right.
Alrighty.
Organize and collect.
Yes. Massive income from
for
passive income.
When
Point
you
is not
have
to
a
work to
choice-
generate income.
when you have a choice, always work with the best.
Always work with the Walter.
And what's
When you have
the
a
other one?
choice, always work with the Schein and the Jaworski.
Yeah, what's the other thing?
the
The
point
point
is
is not to work, it's to
to
generate.
generate income.
Yeah.
We're on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. I'll see you guys at the summit because there's
Yeah,
plenty of
come
room at
see
the
us.
top.
We're all gonna be there, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I
and
mean,
there's some
honestly, like
rock stars at the summit. Yeah,
just my punchlines is I think worth showing up. So everything else is just a bonus.
yeah.
We'll quote rap artists at the summit.
We'll quote movies in appropriate settings as
Amen.
if conversation.
Amen. Oh, it's
Good
gonna
night,
be fun.
everybody.
Peace.
And good luck.
Have a good weekend. I like
You
the
too.
Friday
Cheers.
afternoon.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wolf Principle 24.
That's
What's
right.
tomorrow?
It is Wolf Principle 24.
Not on the podcast when this comes out, but July 16th.
You can hit that QR code on your screen right
Oh,
now.
that's awesome. That is so freaking awesome. All right.
And 52 wealth principles. So wealth 24
Yeah,
is
what's the book?
it's stick to itiveness.
Oh yeah.
What book are we using for the time being? Because I know next year there'll be a different book.
Well, hopefully next year I write that book. It could be 2 years away, Mitch.
What's
The race is
book?
on. I might have to beat you to it.
What's the book?
It's The Alchemist. So I got to write
Oh,
it.
There you
yay. We were just talking about that one right there.
Here's the irony. I sent Walter a copy of that book, yet I have not read that book.
Oh, God. That book is so good. That book is like probably way before I did any of this work.
I
read
could
The
grab it for my
Alchemist.
flight up
Yeah.
in a couple of weeks, but
So
we'll see.
good.
I'm reading the one you sent me, the Beyond Positive Thinking,
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
Good
Awesome.
call.
and I'm listening to Blue Fishing finally.
Yeah,
Nice.
Steve Sims.
Nice. I'm listening to Think and Grow Rich.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Think and Grow Rich. I'm starting that one now.
Nice. It's by this guy, Napoleon Hill.
You
I know
might
the
have heard
guy.
of
I've
him.
heard the guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
guys, I seriously
Hi,
love
guys.
hanging out with you. Let's promise not to do this so far again.
Right?
Like,
I
let's
didn't
not
see you
do
guys
it.
for like 2 weeks. I didn't go to
Go.
Dallas. I was FOMOing,
long,
except for the
too
fact that I
long.
was crushing it in Florida with networking. There was so many events in Florida.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
It
covered
would
it.
be
for me.
nice if we had an event and then we had like we're doing at the summit where we had a few days afterwards to just hang out. You know what
Just
I mean?
chill.
Just chill.
Except for we doing it in Roatan.
I
Bro,
like that. We
pain.
might chill in when I'm up in for
Oh yeah,
Generator
in
Business School.
Providence, Warwick.
Yeah, I might maybe
I
chill for, like,
will
a
be
day or two
leaving.
after
Yeah,
that.
I would like to, but I'll be leaving on Sunday because I got to get back and spend some New York time with the family. I'll be spending literally like 70% of my visit up in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Got to go spend some time with the fam on Long Island.
It's nice.
I get it. And
We'll
then
check in on Steve Rizzo.
Exactly.
yeah,
I'll
tell him I
hit
said hi.
I'd be like, yo, Steve Rizzo, where's your brother Frank?
Dude, did we just start a second podcast? Guys, I gotta go.
We did. Serena's gonna come in there and grab you. She's gonna, Mike. It's gonna be like with the cane, like off the stage. What was that? Was that wasn't the Apollo? That was, what was that? What they used to do with the cane? That was funny. The long cane. They hooked the person. And
The Gong Show.
might have been.
Man.
All right. So, hey, welcome back.
Welcome back to round 2.
I'm gonna go convince the girls after the beach we're getting sushi. So
There you go.
Yeah.
Cheers,
I'm gonna go
Please.
cook. I'm gonna go cook for a change. I'm gonna cook some vegan in my new cast iron skillet.
hey,
Nice
miss, stick
job.
to itiveness, man. Just
All right.
stick to
Peace.
itiveness.
See you guys in the morning.
morning.